let it rain a whole lot more, 'cause I got them deep river blues. Let the rain drive right on, let the waves sweep along, 'cause I got them deep river blues. Hi friends, that's a little piece of an old tune by Doc Watson, another great master of the finger picking style guitar playing, called Deep River Blues. And that is a heck of a lot of fun to play. Basically what you've got is some basic Travis picking, a couple of cool chords, and the rest is history, as they say. So let's take a look at this. Basically we've got an E blues, right? It's a key of E. You've got an E, an E7, an A7, you can play different ways, and you've got your B7. But what's interesting about this is we start off with an E chord, an E7 chord, but we're actually playing, instead of the basic open E, we're going up here to the 5th, 7th fret area, and we're playing the E7 on the 4 strings, okay? And basically, if you take a look at this, you say, well, how did you get that? How did you get this kind of a formation to get an E7? And what we're doing here, if you look closely, is we're taking that old C7 form, right? And we're taking that C7 four finger form that we've talked about before, and we're moving it up to the D with the 3 to the 5 fret, and then we go up to the E7 on the 5 to the 7 fret. Now this is interesting. We're going to take that E7, we're going to take the 3 and the 4, okay, and we're not going to play the fifth string. We're going to take that 3 and 4 and we're going to bring them both down 2 strings. So now instead of playing 5 and 3 string, they're going to be playing 3 and 1 string. The other 2 fingers stay as is. Okay, and now we've got an E7 form without playing the 1st or the 6th and the 5th string. Okay, now that 6th and 5th string, we're actually going to skip over the 5th string and not play it. We're going to play the bass on the 6th string, which is the E bass, and then we're going to play the 4th string, and that 4th string is actually playing a G sharp, which is the 3rd, which makes this kind of interesting. Sliding up to this E7 is just a lot of fun, because you can take the 3 fingers, you can slide up into that E7, and then you're going to go from the E7 to the diminished, which is a G diminished, right? Or an E diminished, or a B flat diminished, or a D flat diminished. So basically all we've got here is we've got the E diminished, back to the E, and then the A7, and then the E7 down here if you want, and then the B7, and that's the whole song, okay? But that diminished chord gives you such a cool feeling there. And so what are we doing? We're going from the E7. All we have to do, keep these 2 fingers the same, slide them down, and then switch these 2, but keep them in the same fret, okay? So, and we'll show you a little diagram on this, right? But here's the diminished chord. So you've got this, these are skipping to a string, right? Skipping a string, and then these are skipping a string. Kind of a symmetric thing, you know? So that's the E diminished, E diminished, and then down to the A7, which we're hitting the A7 with all 4 strings and that 1, 3, and that allows us to play a little melody there by going 3, 2, 1, and 2, and okay, so it's 3, 2, 1 and 2 and. So we've got E7 diminished, back to the E7, and then A, and when we hit the A, we're now playing the 5th string, which we haven't been playing at all, right? We've been skipping over it. 6 4 6 4 6 4 6 4. But then when we get E7 6 4 6 4, but then when we get down to the A7, that's when we want to play the 5 4, because that A is, of course, the A bass, and we want that A bass on there. And you can play around with that. And then also on the B7. Okay, so that helps us out there. We can use that same little motif on the A7 as we do on the B7. Okay? Okay, now the nice thing with the diminished is you can play that E bass, E7 with the bass. And with the diminished chord, always remember that every 3rd fret is the same diminished chord without moving your fingers, without changing your fingers. If you skip 3 frets, 1, 1, 2, 3, that's the same diminished chord in different arrangements of the same notes, right? So if you wanted to get a little fancy here, you could and then of course you can do your bending. You see that when you listen to Doc Watson do this, he'll do a lot of bending. He'll do some bending on this E7, okay, and that bending is coming in here on that 2nd string. The little pinky just goes to the 2nd string, and then we're back down to the 5. So you can do something like that. When you're playing and not singing, you want to put a little more melody into the playing. So you're going to go. The basic Travis picking that's going on here is the bass 6 and 4, okay, so it's 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can do with this song. Of course, it's a blues, so you can implement that E blues scale, right, to end it up. You can put in some of these little riffs, and you can really stylize it for yourself. So, Deep River Blues, very interesting song, a lot of opportunity, takes advantage of that C7, right, form up here on the 5th and 7th fret, changing it up a little bit to get the E7 up here, introducing that diminished chord, which gives it a lot of flavor, and then of course the A7, and throwing in a little bit of the good old Travis picking, and you're off and running. Have fun with this song. There's really not much more fun playing a guitar than playing this E7 to the diminished. It really is a lot of fun, especially when you slide up to it. So until next time, friends, enjoy.